On Saturday, just this last Saturday, I had been invited to speak in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and my friend and I were driving back to D.C., and we drove through Gettysburg, and we stopped there for a while at the battlefield monuments and the museum. And while we were there, we of course saw the Lincoln statues, and we read from his Gettysburg Address. And you all know about Lincoln's extraordinary Gettysburg Address, where he said a hell of a lot more than I said in 10 times as much time as he said it. But he said of a hope that this nation would have, quote, a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, and for the people shall not perish from the earth, end of quote. What an extraordinary statement. And as we drove back from Gettysburg to Washington, it struck me hard that Lincoln's extraordinary vision, a government of the people, by the people, for the people, was in fact perishing, was coming to an end, and that we are moving rapidly away from our democratic heritage into an oligarchic form of society, where today we are experiencing a government of the billionaires, by the billionaires, and for the billionaires. Today, in my view, the most serious problem we face as a nation is the grotesque and growing level of wealth and income inequality. This is a profound moral issue, it is an economic issue, and it is a political issue. Economically, for the last 40 years, the great middle class of our country, once the envy of the world, has been in decline. Despite, and here's the important point to make that we have got to answer, despite an explosion of technology, despite a huge increase in productivity, despite all of the so-called benefits of the global economy, millions of American workers today are working longer hours for lower wages, and we have more people living in poverty than almost any time in the history of our country. Today, real unemployment is not the 5.7% you read in the newspapers. It is 11.3% if you include those people who are working part-time when they want to work full-time, or those people who have given up looking for work entirely. We don't talk about it. Pope Francis does, by the way, but we don't talk about the fact that youth unemployment in this country is 18%, and African-American youth unemployment is nearly 30%. Shamefully, we have by far the highest rate of childhood poverty of any major country on earth. Hear a whole lot of discussion about family values from my Republican friends, but nothing about the fact that almost 20% of our kids are living in poverty.